Hello, I'm back from the break. Let me check if everything's working. I think it is. Also, let me see the VODs. I want to see if it's blunt. Yeah, it's. I think the VODs are correct. So yeah, the VODs are correct, and this will be probably the biggest stream I'm going to make because that's a lot to unpack. And the quality is fine as always. So I'm gonna pause it and just monitor by the string integrity here. Well, okay, now it's the fun part, which is we need to make the event loop. And uh, I want to start with the event loop because I'm not that very knowledgeable about rendering um, stuff. I know more about the event loop system because I've studied some of the event loop systems, such as the JavaScript one, the browser one, because I'm from a web dev background. So that's something I'm more familiar with. So yeah, um, I'm gonna open Krita because I think I'm gonna use a drawing. I think I'm going to draw, and I want to configure my driver because I want to spinning 180, and yeah, now it's now it's good. And I also, it is artist mode. Yeah, artist mode, correct. Okay, so I want to make, think this is fine. Okay, gonna make it like this. And I mean, it's the wrong proportion. Can I just, I don't want to mirror. I want to rotate 90 degrees. Okay. Okay, and then everything. Okay, it's not behaving. What the fuck is happening? Okay, it's not. Okay, I think it's the driver. I think it is the driver because I think you need to. I think you need to set up something here to make it behave better, but yeah, I don't think I have this stuff here made. I don't think I have the stuff set. Maybe if I can configure Krita for tablet. Oh, no, I mean, it's recognizing as a tablet. Maybe because, oh, I know, maybe it's the tape I put on my, on my pen. So maybe I need to unbind the pen buttons. And now, okay, now it's behaving properly. So won't have the pen buttons, but I think it won't be necessary. I think I think so. So it's kinda laggy. Yeah, I mean, I think it is enough to demonstrate. So okay. So the we need to do the can you okay, thank you. We need to do the event loop. Okay, so the event loop is is basically one of the things to, we need to do. Let me make the stroke a little because I can write less. I can write in less space. Okay. So the event loop we need to get the events from the top left. My fucking God. Can I think I need. I also need to modify. But the threshold is already so low. Okay, we need to handle the top level events. We need to handle the need to handle the backend events. We need to have the handle the UI events also because the UI will also be able to emit events. So we can communicate with another components and widgets. Yeah, so top level, basically, I think it's like render stuff. So like if it needs to update the window because because of a resize or another configuration setting. The backend's more like input, so like mouse and keyboard. And I think on Linux you use a library called XF86 keyboard. XF86 input. Yeah, for it is Xorg library, but I think you can also use it on Wayland as well. I mean, should be. Anyway, I'm gonna search it later. So we need to handle keyboard, mouse movements. We need to handle the top level such as resize, draw, painting, the UI elements. So we basically need to handle the backend events and the top level events so we can pass them to the UI, and the UI can also emit the event space if it had triggered an event on it. Yeah, very confusing, but yeah. So we need to so the event loop needs to process these. Okay, but this circle is you need to process these to then if there's and then we need to draw on the correct refresh rate. So for example, we need to have a form of vsync. We need to sync the drawing of the application with the event stuff, if you know. So like we need a maybe we need a delta time system because yeah, mm, make things more sync. I think the renderer on the open on the current GLES, you can just toggle the vsync on and off, but on software renderer, I don't think you can do this. So you, I'll have to do this manually if I want, if I want it vsynced. So there's the part of processing events, part of the drawing, and yeah, the drawing, the renderers, it's gonna be another part, but I think it needs to be, I think to be very smooth, we need to, I'm going to use the mouse. Triple buffering. Okay, oh my god, this is so less. Why? Triple buffer. We need to do triple buffer to be as smooth as it gets. Because I think the issue right now is because I don't know how to change it. Also, it might be that, but the issue with uh, the these artifacts is because we are not buffering enough. So it doesn't have the time to flip the correct frame and it has like this weird artifact. I don't know. I'm just assuming. So yeah. So I want to work on the stop level backend and UI event stuff to basically have a solid API to make a solid event loop API for the user. Okay. So let me not use a tablet anymore because they kind of sucked. Maybe I need another tablet for drawing. So yeah, I want to make the event loop. Don't want to save it. Okay. Everything fine. So let's make the event loop. So inside the GUI, we are going to write the events, the event loop implementation. So event.c, and then on, why there's a build inside? Why there's a build inside it? I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't really know why there was a build. Okay, event.c, and I actually want to include this file on all platforms. Event.c, And there we are going to write uh, the stuff with it. So there are a lot of ways to implement an event system. I want to make the event system kind of synchronous, so like the you can it will buffer the events it's receiving, and when the user calls, it will get the events. So I want to make like an event queue where it will store the all of the events the application is doing on this queue, and then the user can consume the event queue to process the events. So a form of doing this asynchronously on Unix at least is using poll. The poll is a form of mm, of synchronizing code, like it's a form of multiplexing input output. To be honest, I'm not that familiar with polling because I was reading the Unix, uh, the Advanced Programming Unix Environment. Yeah, this book, and I haven't got to the part of like polling and sync, async, socket stuff. So yeah, I'm not that familiar with this API. I know there's epoll, but epoll is for IO event notification system. Yeah, maybe epoll is what we want instead of polling. I mean, I don't know. I really need to study that later, so yeah, gonna do that. Okay, so we also want to create event.h. Uh-huh. I I forgot how to make these uh these stuffs here, so we don't gonna do event, and then so some parts of the events is on the window side, so I want to adapt it. So I don't want it to be like a top level event. I want it to be just an event. So I think there will be some refactoring because I want it to be event, not top level event. I'm gonna unify everything. So event key, event mouse, one coordinates, I think it's fine. And then I'm gonna do the types. I'm gonna do the feature. So I'm gonna change this to be event, and then I'm gonna change the point top level. I mean, I'm gonna change it with LSP. Yeah, I can. So uni event, uni event key, uni event mouse, and uni event window, uni event redraw. Then we are going to include the include intern GUI types.h. Oh yeah, and then there is GUI event type, which we're going to rename it here. Okay, why it's in here? Incomplete. Going event window, going event redraw, going event key, going event mouse. I don't think it's incomplete. I don't think it's incomplete. I might be wrong, but I don't think it's incomplete. It is incomplete? Oh, oh yeah. Save all. And something failed. Only top, I mean, window X. No. So okay. I want to search for, let me do this. What the fuck? What's happening? Okay. Want to do the search for here. Okay. Gonna do, and then I'm gonna replace with only event. And then we can on types. I mean, it should be struct GUI event. Okay, incomplete type def. Why it's incomplete type def? Oh, maybe because it's not including here. No. Okay, let me top level. Okay. It's still incomplete type def on window.c. Oh, I see. Um, then there is incomplete. There's still error. Store size event isn't null. Because maybe I need to include it here also. Okay. The include order seems messy as hell. Okay, let me actually. Why it's complaining? It is complaining, but it's also not. I mean, that's so weird. I mean, the example just runs fine, so yeah. Either you make an event loop system or the event loop system makes you. Yes. Okay. So uh, there is some false positives here because the program seems to compile just fine. I mean the test at least. And also and because the library, the test links with the GUI library, I think this is fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm gonna investigate the false positives later. So if we get to the types, where it is, what I need to do here? Okay. So we have the events, we have the fed struct, which is basically an enum. So tag the unions, you check the type, and then you check the union field corresponding to the type. This is the same thing I'm doing to the Windows system, which is, it is the same thing. The backend is basically an backend type and then a void pointer instead of an union because it's more flexible with it, with this, because you can cast anything to void pointer and store the address of it. So we don't have to uh, expose implementation specific things to the struct such as the X11 backend. But because it is an event, it's better to just expose it in a union because you have more type safe to it. So yeah. Okay. So basically, what we need to make a loop, we need to a system to get all the events that the application is receiving. So just like on the window part, the window has an event system dedicated to the top levels and the backend. So that's a way to process input and window events such as resize and drawing. Okay, so uh, um, we need a function to pull event. We basically need to pull an event. We can uh, pulling the event. You also have to um, let me try to uh, think this about it. So we need to get the event. We need to. So for the event system, we want to get the events. I think it's best to put these events on a queue so the user can consume the, the queue, can pop the queue to get all the events. And it then it can draw the window. When the user consumed all the events, it can draw the window. But the thing is, on immediate mode API, you kind of, unless you are retaining internal state on the widgets, much like what ImGUI does, it has some of the internal state on the widget. You need to basically uh, in you need it. You don't need a queue. The queue is not enough. You need to put it everything inside like a context and pass the context which will hold the event queue. So yeah, it is kinda complicated if you when you do it like this on the immediate mode API. But I mean, the immediate mode API it's way better to use compared to a retain mode API. So you need to get the events. You need to put it on somewhat of a queue, and then the user can pop the queue, or 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 it can also I can uh, put the the queue on a context struct. Uh, I think we need to put the queue on a context struct. We need to generate the widget, the layout tree. So the tree which will have all of the layout components on it. And then we can pass the layout tree to the renderer and the renderer can draw. So there are a lot of stuff that I want to optimize for the rendering, because despite making an immediate mode API, you can in fact have features of uh, you can have some of the features of retain mode, because just because you're making an immediate mode API, you don't need to draw everything again and again and again and again and again. You can make some optimizations. One great example of this is how React does it. Like React has the virtual DOM system to basically have a diff of the component trees, and with that it knows what it needs to render and what it doesn't need to render. So yeah, it is because React is basically an as one of the implementations of an immediate mode API inside of a browser. It has a very similar API compared to like I'm GUI, for example. I mean, it's not very similar actually, but it is kind of close because you have components as functions, just like on I'm GUI. So yeah, we need to get the event. When you in a queue, we can put the queue on a context struct, and then we can pass these context struct to the all the components, and then generate the layout tree, and then it's gonna draw. So the stuff we need to focus right now is basically uh, this tree. That's what we need to do. So we need to pull. We need to pull the event. So it's going to be a function that will return pull in, because it will return if there's event to be processed. So okay, let me uh, okay, I can do this. So can I do this? I think I can. Okay. Pull the event from the pull the event from the queue. Pull the event from the I think this is going to be the top level API. So pull an event from the from the system. Returns greater than 0 if there's an event, otherwise 0 if there's none, and less than 0 if there's an error. I 0 on error. Pull an event from the system, returns greater than 0 if there's an event, 0 if there's none, and less than 0 on error. Okay. Then we want to make the actually, I don't think you need this, actually. Actually, you don't need this, because I think you can just return the struct. And because there is an event called, I think I defined an event called nothing, you just need to check for nothing. Yes. So we need to pull the event. We need to, we might want to make the context stuff. It's because it's, I mean, it's going to rely on allocation. So yeah, yeah, it's going to rely on allocation. But I don't know. Maybe we can do it like this, actually. So ruin event, ruin poll event. We can get the event and we can put it in the queue. So maybe we can make the ruin context, and the ruin context will be kind of huge. Actually, it's going to be quite huge. So inside the context, I think we want to have the an allocator. So we are going to use an arena. I think it's good to use an arena because I think the context has like an very well defined lifetime. So we can bind the allocations to an arenas and free the arena to free all the objects related to the context. So yeah, I think this is the, I think this will be good. So we are going to have the arena. We are going to have the event. We are going to have the list. Actually, I think we can just use like this. Yeah. Pull event. Get the event, put in queue, put the queue on the complex struct. So I'm going to have the list. This list is going to be bound by the arena. So event list. And then, yeah. Okay, we are going to make the and then we're going to pass the arena to build the context of it. We are going to build the context. Then we are going to pull all the events on this list. Then we are going to pass these on to every component and see what it needs to be done. So yeah, this is going to process on every frame, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be processed on every frame. Okay, so we need to pull the event. We need to pull the event from something. This something will be the. I don't want to pull from the top level because the top level there you can have more than one top level, so you don't want to pull from one top level. We want the system to be central. I think you can pull from a backend because the backend there is only one, so it's fine to pull from the backend. Mm, yes. Okay, this is going to be hard because you have, I think on XCB the events are pulled from. Oh no, actually it's pulled from the. Okay, never mind. It's pulled from the. It's actually pulled from the connection. So you don't even need. Yeah, you don't even. You don't think you can do backend, backend, and then just. Yeah, you can just do this. So you can just pull the event from the backend. And let me fix this on window.c because I changed it. Where it is here. Oh, let's see. Backend. Yeah. You can just do this, yeah. So the events on X11 are just made for the backend. Maybe on Wayland it's different. I don't think so because you also only have a connection to the Wayland, the compositor, and it just and yeah. The Wayland compositor also has a connection to the Wayland to the socket, and it sends all the information related to input. And then we can decide what. And then we also need to have like a system to handle the compositor inputs, the backend events as well. But I want to make an event system for the library in general. So not only for the backend, but also for the applications itself. Mm, maybe I need to rewrite this library, this part of the library again. This might this might be more difficult than it's supposed it looks like. Yeah, more different than it looked like. So okay, we have the context, the arena, then the event list. Then we can pull the events from the backend, and then we can build context. So the context will have the event list. Basically, it will have the event list. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the event, it is something kinda interesting because So we can have uh, an component event, and the component event is, it can be different. So for example, the component event will have the source. I think I'm going to define the source as a new32, a source, because I think I'm going to generate an ID for every component done in the UI. It's just going to be an incrementing integer. Yeah. So we have the going to have the source, and we have the source, and then we are going to make it like a tag. This tag, I want it to be more like I want to make like the component defining its own events. Yeah, I mean, not that trivial to say at least. I think this structure is correct to do, although I don't think it's very efficient because I need to allocate the event list and pass it to all of the components to process the event list, pick the ones they are interested in listening. So yeah. So we want to pull the event, we want to build the context, and we want to maybe uh, mm, let me rename the functions pull and wait. And actually, I think I'm going to make a big struct holding event loop. So this will have the backend, the top top level backend. Maybe I'm going to rename this later to window backend. I don't know. Top level is better than window because you can have window, you can have pop-ups. They are very different kinds of top level. It's pedantic, but I think it's worth to be pedantic. so 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 I'm going to make it like this, and I'll let me go to types and define some stuff. Okay. Event, me this event. So on event, gonna return the event, and then we can wait if can wait. Yeah. Oh yeah. Event loop, and then I want maybe to store the delta time. I think I haven't. Yeah, I didn't do. Let me make this. Maybe I want to calculate the delta time also, because for the amount to wait, basically. Maybe this will fix these artifacts because the OpenGL and the X11 are not in sync. Like the X11 are emitting a lot of draw events, but the OpenGL can't catch up. Maybe if I actually let me experiment with something. I can do, if I set this to 0, yeah, I mean, now it's catching up, but you can see it's catching up more often, but we need, but because I think it's not buffered, it's having a lot of artifacts. So it needs to be buffered. So the frame can only be shown when it's ready. Because at the moment, I don't think that's happening. Yeah. Or maybe that's an excellent quirk that I don't know. Anyways. So we have the Wooing event loop, Wooing event loop, wait. We kind of want to build the context of the event loop. So yeah, we can pass the arena and the loop. And maybe we want to implement this. Yeah, I think this will now fail. Yeah, this is now failing because incomplete type. Why it's saying it's incomplete type? I think I'm going to move to here. And now it's complaining for incomplete type depth on the surface. And then we are, and on the surface, we just include GUI event. And okay, now it's working. Now it's working. Putting kill, put the kill on the context store, generate the layout tree and draw. Okay. Event.c. Uh, is we want to put okay. I'm gonna okay. Top level backend you can you also need to save here. Yeah, maybe on the past it is failing somewhere on conflicting types on window.c line 89. Hmm. Hmm. Why? Why it's conflicting? Going top level backend poll. Oh, I see. Then you also need to change